I'm Amaya, a third year theology student at Trinity Hall. I'm going to show you how, as a Bangladeshi or Pakistani student, you can fit in here. Hi guys, it's really nice to have you here. Do you want to just introduce yourselves first before I ask you a few questions?
I'm Sofia, I'm the president of the Bangla Society here at Cambridge, and I study history and politics.
Yes, and I'm Talha, third year engineering undergraduate at King's and also being events officer for PAXOC.
So, can you tell me a little bit about your societies and what they entail, the events you hold and socials and things like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go first. So PAXOC is meant to be, well, we're a society mainly of Pakistanis, but also obviously anyone is free to join. We just hold events of Pakistani themed generally. So that's usually in the form of, I want to say, the food that we have, for example. Also partly, I guess last year, Easter term, we had a gala, my bad, at Eddington, and they had a lot of Bollywood music, very Bollywood food. We tried to we did the whole decoration and stuff. Everything's right in the theme, right? And yeah, I think the main idea is just that mainly Pakistanis just get to hang out with each other, where they might struggle to find other Pakistanis otherwise in Cambridge.
Yeah, so the Bangla Society is a cultural society, so we host anyone who's interested in Bengali culture, the Bengali language, which includes like a whole diverse range of people. And we aim to provide a space for people to get together, celebrate Bengali culture, Bengali food, Bengali language, and meet people like them, have conversations that they might not be able to have elsewhere because they can't find people who relate to them on the same level as things, and overall just to create a space of comfort. So we hold events like Eid party, like we held an Eid party last year for everyone to get together. That was in collaboration with the Pakistani Society. We hold brunches for people to get together. We're holding a workshop on the Bengal famine. So we do educational things as well, and we also have a Bangla music festival coming up soon. So we do loads of exciting cultural events where people can get together. Yeah, so I think one word would be community, because it's a space for people to come and relate to people who are from a similar background to them. I think another word would be social, so people having fun together, and the last word would be comfort. So just finding comfort that you don't need to do anything extra to meet anyone's expectations. It's just you come as you are, and there's comfort in that.
Yeah. Do you guys think that students from Pakistani and Bangladeshi backgrounds face particular problems in Cambridge or maybe in university in general?
So I think one problem might be, and it's not really specific to Pakistani or Bengali students, but many students from ethnic minorities might feel like, especially in their subjects or in classwork and things like that, they are the only ethnic person in the room, and that can put quite a lot of responsibility on them because they feel like they need to explain themselves more or try and be on the same level as everyone else, which is just not the case. So I think one issue is feeling like you have to represent so much more than who you are in that moment.
Yeah, I think, so for me personally, there was quite a culture shock when I came here, because I guess the demographics were just a lot different here than they were when, back where I am in London. Just a lot of Pakistani people there, many less here, for example. And I think it's probably a bit too much to ask of someone to learn about another culture or how to act appropriately while also doing what is arguably, not arguably, quite a hard degree no matter what you do here. And that can be a struggle, I think. And uni is of course also a place where you're meant to socialize, get together, make new friends and such. And sometimes, and I guess without perhaps a hub where, you know, a bunch of, I guess, people, whose culture you understand already, I guess, you don't have that making those friends can just be much harder.
Yeah.
So.
Would you say that it was not easy, but that you guys have overcome these struggles, or did you feel homesickness or anything like that at the beginning? Do you feel like it is easy to overcome this whilst at university?
So I had very heavy homesickness when I first came here. Actually, I went back home like more or less every week, but I think after a while, admittedly, the homesickness was because of a variety of things. I think eventually when I got used to sort of living in uni and being able to sort of manage, I guess, the workload and such, I found myself a lot more comfortable here. So I want to say that that initial hardness that was there has subsided quite a lot now, if it hasn't completely gone.
Yeah, and I think just adding to that, once you like find your community and find people who do understand you, it's like you don't feel as homesick because you know that there are people around who do understand you. So
yeah. So what would you guys say to someone from a Pakistani or Bangladeshi background who's reluctant to apply to Cambridge, but thinking of it? What do you think you could say to help maybe push them?
I think one thing I would say is, even though it's not going to be the easiest thing ever, like there's no point denying that there are issues with like homesickness or comfort or feeling like you are the odd one out in a way. But I would say that that's not just a negative thing. So there's so much like power in your stories as someone from an ethnic minority, and academia for so long has been kind of dominated by the West, by Europe, by America. And us being here is so powerful because we can bring our own stories and we can bring our own perspectives, and even though that's so hard and that's not easy on a personal level, it's like academia needs you more than you need them in a way.
Though there may be an initial difficulty in maybe finding people that you like. Once you do, I think, the benefits massive. I very much enjoy my time here. I've enjoyed my time here for quite a while now. And of course keep in mind that you are perhaps learning from, some very smart people, some of the smartest people in their respective fields. That's quite a big benefit, which, I feel like more people should be able to use to their advantage.
Yeah, I think one thing to add is that for me, what strikes me more, obviously the staff and level of education here is incredible, but I feel like I learn so much more from the people around me, like just my peers. You come to Cambridge and you find so many strong, intelligent, confident people from ethnic minorities, and that's what rubs off on you more and being like bringing out that confidence in yourself and validating what you think, even though it might not be the majority.
So how did your parents feel about you guys applying to Cambridge?
Mine were quite happy. It's been quite so. I guess this kind of goes a long way back. My granddad was a teacher in Pakistan, and he kind of told my dad about this place called Oxford, Cambridge. This was when my dad was in Pakistan as well, and how these places are like sort of like the epitome of education sort of thing. Best place to be. So when the time came and I was applying to Cambridge, they very very happy about that. I guess there was still the sort of fear that I would be moving out, and but I guess that fear is somewhat warranted. After all, they are your parents and they want to protect you. But there is, of course, the option to, as I did, go back home every once in a while, just to, I guess, one, keep in touch, to ensure they don't go too off the rails, right? So I guess that was my parents' initial reaction. So
I would say on my part, my parents were obviously really happy that I would be like trying to go to Cambridge and things, and I think just thinking about it in terms of the fact that like neither of my grandparents ever even went to any kind of school, and going from that to 2 generations on, having 2 daughters in Oxbridge, it does bring them a lot of pride, and they were really happy about it. And I think it's just anything that helps the community like progress is so powerful. Yeah, I think just in terms of like moving out, obviously Asian families can be very like protective and very like close knit, but I think after kind of freshers, after Michaelmas, those tensions do really relax, and parents realise like you are capable of.
And you're happy.
Yeah, you are capable of looking after yourself, and still being okay. Because I think one thing about Asian parents is like they are genuinely like really really concerned for your like mental health, and they think like, oh, if you're not enjoying it, it's not worth it. Like they're happy to just bring you back home because like, but obviously that wasn't necessary. So I think overall it's a really good opportunity.
So you guys both came from London. How do you feel Cambridge is different to where you grew up from culturally?
I think when you drive back home from here, it can actually be quite a shock how different it is. Cambridge is obviously a lot smaller, and I think the most important thing is that it's so much safer. Like you can walk around at night, which is something you'd never ever do where we're from, and it is also like really really beautiful. So like when I go home to Ilford, I'm like, this is not it, like because I'm used to just like such beautiful buildings and like gardens and everything around me. So I think one thing that is surprising is how much you do actually fall in love with the city itself.
yeah, I guess there are good and bad differences. To be fair, the only bad one really is just that sometimes there was, at least when I came in the first year, a lack of halal food places.
Yes.
Like I admittedly never really learned how to cook, so scavenging for food was sometimes a bit of a difficulty. But now we've got much more. Taco Bell, Popeyes, KFC, to name a few, and yeah, that's quite manageable now. And I think the great thing is that compared to, I'm from Hounslow, and that's kind of why I say the food thing. I'm used to food just being available at like anywhere, halal food that is. But the difference is Cambridge looks way better. The architecture far more beautiful. So being from Kings, I stared at the chapel several times since I've come here. And to be fair, even just stared at the dining hall when I go to eat there. Everything is, all the buildings very well made and yeah, very pretty. And there's what's also nice is that you can just walk around and like see most of it. There's no need for a car. And if you've got a bike, then everything's very, very easily accessible, which is even better. And yeah, the other thing is, of course, shops here, several, like everywhere. Like any shop that I didn't quite realize how many shops there were here until I went back to London and then realized that like if I ever like wanted something, I could probably just go on it from there. And yeah, I think those are the main things. Although one other thing, I guess, just about the size. What's nice is that you can very easily just run into other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's So I do badminton once a week, 2 hours. I try and go climbing or bouldering. There's like a little bouldering place kind of near here, which is quite nice. So I try and do that weekly. Usually that takes up quite a bit of time. That's usually during the weekend or something. I try and go to the gym pretty frequently. It helps keep the stress out, from other things. usually, just going out with my friends, of course. That's one way to unwind. Just going to somewhere to dinner or something.
I would say just spending time with like the people around you here. You're only at uni for 3 or 4 years, so but the friendships you make are like so strong, and just spending time with the people around you while you can. I think that's the most important way of like using your like unwinding time.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Spending time with the people that you want to spend time with will help you very much.
Thank you both so much for coming. It was absolutely lovely to meet you. I hope you found that useful. If you're interested, please do sign up for the You'll Fit In programme. It's free for Year 12 students of Bangladeshi and Pakistani heritage. You can join us for a Cambridge residential, webinars, and talk to some of our current students. So I hope to see you soon.